Good evening, Nova Nation, and welcome to another edition of Wildcat Watch Live. I'm Anthony DePadua.
I'm Brendan Garrity.
I'm Bryn Garrity.
And I'm Nemo Cricchio.
We got another great show on hand, and tonight is September 19th, 2011. To start the festivities, we're going to get headed over to Brendan with some men's soccer.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, with basketball and football always getting attention around campus, let's focus on the men's and women's soccer team, along with the women's field hockey team. Let's start with the men's team, who played three tough games this past week, beginning with a game against Princeton. In a tight-lock game against the defending Ivy League champions, junior Emerson Wallace scored a goal on a penalty kick in the 82nd minute to give Villanova the 1-0 lead. However, 6 minutes later, the Tigers converted their own penalty kick to tie the game at 1-1 in the 88th minute. This goal set the game into overtime, where the energy was still the same, however nobody could find the back of the net. As the long-winded game pressed onward, Princeton finally pulled out a victory in the 101st minute to win the game 2-1. Unfortunately, our men's team fell in this heartbreaker, but had a lot to look forward to as they headed on the road to face the Penn Quakers. Unlike their game against the Tigers, though, Nova went down early to the Quakers, giving up 2 early first-half goals. Nonetheless, Emerson Wallace put the team on his back again by drilling a penalty kick with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in the match. However, Villanova was unable to tie the game and fell on the road to the Quakers by a final score of 2-1. After the game, Coach Tom Carlin said, quote, "I thought we played pretty well in the first half and only made 2 significant mistakes, but unfortunately for us, both of them ended up in the back of our net. Penn is a good team and took advantage of our mistakes. We just weren't able to come all the way back." End quote. The team responded to their coach's comments, however, by holding the number 6 team in the country, UCSB, to a draw of 0-0. This match proves that the Wildcats have the ability to compete with fiercer competition and highly ranked teams. The men's team stands on a record of 2-3-2 and looks forward to upcoming games against even greater competitors. Now for the women's team, junior forward Heidi Sabatura scored her 3rd goal of the season. However, it was not enough to overcome Rutgers' 3 goals. A few mistakes by the Wildcats caused some very opportune goals for the Lady Scarlet Knights, but the girls look to rebound in their next game against Seton Hall. Though Nova brought the energy against Seton Hall throughout the game, the team was shut out for the first time this season. But Katie Ryan did lead Villanova with 4 shots on goal, but the Wildcats struggled with putting the ball in the back of the net. We wish the girls best of luck as they head on the road against Syracuse and St. John's this upcoming week. Lastly, but certainly not least, after falling early in the Big East tournament, the women's field hockey team made a strong statement against their opponent Radford. And indeed they did, as 2 goals were scored by freshman Jessica Swabata, and junior Amy Jackson had 2 assists, which lifted the Wildcats to a 3-1 victory. We want to congratulate all the teams this week on their great performance and incredible effort on the field, and we look forward to covering their games in the future and the upcoming games this weekend. And now for some football highlights, let's go over to Anthony.
Thanks, Brendan. On a day where Nova's football team tried to make their parents even more proud, an unfortunate outcome awaited the Nova Nation, as the Monmouth Hawks would soar to victory this past Saturday, 20-9. The game, overall, was a grueling and enduring battle of stark wills and tight defense, as the first touchdown in the game did not come until the 3rd quarter when redshirt freshman running back Austin Medley had a 36-yard dash that was good for 6. Medley would pick up 53 yards on 7 carries for the day. With the touchdown, our Cats would go up 7-3, and that unfortunately would be our only lead of the day. For slowly but surely, Monmouth would go on to score 17 more points, with a passing touchdown from the Hawks' Tristan Roberts to Kyle Frazier, another field goal by Monmouth kicker Eric Spillane, and a nail-in-the-coffin 44-yard rushing TD by running back Balil Sloan L. Some parting facts for all the dedicated Wildcat fans out there. Junior wide receiver Dorian Wells had six receptions for 98 yards, while senior quarterback Christian Cosierto, who came to the game during the 2nd quarter, threw for 183 yards on 11 of 24 passing, while also running 12 times for 34 yards. Unfortunately, this marks the 3rd straight game to begin the year in which the Wildcats were held scoreless in the first half. With this loss, our Cats fall to 0-3. Hopefully our Cats can get out this slump sooner rather than later. In some more upbeat news, this past Friday, our men's tennis team hosted the Villanova Invitational, held here at Villanova on our own West Campus tennis courts. In dominant fashion, our Cats protected our turf, winning 3 out of the 4 opening matches to advance to the winner's bracket. In the first Villanova match on Friday, sophomore Thomas O'Brien and freshman Kelly Donaldson teamed up to post an 8-0 victory in doubles and swept Jeffrey Brennan and Kosuhiro Tomioka from Franklin and Marshall in singles. Next, freshman Michael Rosengren and sophomore Matt Colonese beat Tommy Wyby and Cameron Relic of Franklin and Marshall with a score of 8-5 and also took the singles matches. And finally, sophomore Ryan Payton and freshman Mark Miller posted a close 8-6 victory over Anthony Collard and Maxwell Sachs in their doubles match, while it was Payton who would seal the 3rd victory for our Wildcats in the singles match against Collard, as Sachs would unfortunately hand the freshman Miller a defeat. A duo of new and old would be the only pair of Wildcats not to proceed to the winner's bracket, as freshman Chris Kua and senior Liam Bohannon would lose their doubles match and split the singles. Nice job, guys. Keep the winning ways up. Now, for some women's volleyball, here's Bren.
Thanks, Anthony. The Villanova volleyball team opened the American Volleyball Classic this past Friday with a 3-0 sweep over host school American University. Senior Maggie Mergen connected on 12 kills with just 2 errors, as juniors Krista Anderson and Cece Twitty each tallied 9 kills for Villanova. Senior Kim Maroon continued her stellar defense with a match-high 27 digs. Freshman Allie DiBernardo dished out 37 assists to her teammates. Errors from the Eagles and kills by Williams and Mergen put Villanova on top early in the 3rd set. An ace from Maroon closed the set and gave the Wildcats a sweep in the match. After a tough 5-set match against Missouri, the Villanova volleyball team had a quick turnaround to face Western Kentucky in the final match of the American Volleyball Classic, where the Wildcats were swept 3-0. Maggie Mergen connected on 7 kills, while juniors Morgan Petkovich and Krista Anderson recorded 6 and 5 kills, respectively. Kim Maroon served consecutive aces in the 3rd set, and Villanova took the lead. Anderson served 3 points to give Villanova a set point, 24-23, but the Hilltoppers tied at 24. Mergen found the floor for a kill at 25-24, but again, the Hilltoppers came back to tie. With the 3rd set tied at 26 apiece, Villanova hit consecutive errors, and Western Kentucky closed out the match with a sweep. Following her performance at the American Classic, where she averaged 7.09 digs per set, Maroon was named to the all-tournament team. Now on to Mimo with upcoming games.
Thanks, Bryn. Let's get started with men's golf. After their 10th place finish this weekend at the McLaughlin, the team is in Newport, Rhode Island this week for the Adams Cup. The Wildcats hope to build on last week's performance at the 2-day tournament against a 19-team field vying for the title. We wish the golf team good luck, as they'll be looking to improve on this past weekend's performance. Field hockey will travel to Franklin Field this Wednesday night to take on Penn at 7:15. They will also be in action this Saturday at home against Rutgers at 1 p.m. The team's 3-1 win against Radford has them riding high after this past weekend, and I expect them to continue their winning ways in their Big 5 clash versus the Quakers and their Big East showdown with the Lady Scarlet Knights. Good luck, ladies. Cross Country is taking a short trip down to Haverford this week to participate in the Mainline Invitational. This is their first event of the season, an all-day competition on Thursday. The women's field will begin first at 5 p.m., with the men following shortly after at 5:30. Best of luck to the cross-country teams for a strong start to the season. Well, the women's soccer team is very lucky. They get to go to Jamaica this Friday, New York, not Kingston, to play St. John's at 7 p.m., and then to Syracuse, which is also in New York, to play the Orange on Sunday at 1 p.m. They are looking to recover in the Big East standings after their 1-0 defeat versus Seton Hall yesterday, and there's no reason they can't. Watch for them to set the tone early, making up for the missed opportunities from the weekend and translating it into 2 solid conference results this week. Meanwhile, this Saturday, the men's team will be in action at home against Georgetown at 1 p.m. At least they will have some time to shake off this past weekend's results. a pair of 2-1 losses to Princeton and Penn, and hopefully they can come back strong versus the Hoyas this weekend with a convincing win. Also on Friday, the men's tennis team will be in Philly all day for the 3-day St. Joseph's Invitational. The team did very well at the Villanova Invitational, advancing in 3 of 4 matches, and will look to continue their hot streak against the field into the weekend. Our softball team will be in full swing this weekend, playing Quinnipiac and Iona at the Carroll Wild Tournament in Lehigh County this Saturday at 12:15 at 2:30 p.m., before coming home on Sunday to face Lafayette at 10 a.m. and Delaware at 4 p.m. The team hopes to use this slate of fall games to develop in time for the spring season, and we wish them all the best in their preparations. The women's volleyball team also has some traveling of their own to do this weekend. They will be in Chicago on Saturday to take on DePaul at 3 p.m. before heading over to South Bend on Sunday to face the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame at 1 p.m. This marks the beginning of Big East Conference play for the Wildcats, and we hope they will bounce back after a rough weekend at the American Invitational in Washington, D.C., where they took 1 of 3 matches. The rowing team is kicking off their 2011 campaign this Saturday in New Jersey as they participate in the Rumson Boat Race. They are looking to start strong after they finished the 2010 season with an impressive performance at the Dadvale Regatta, where they took the Margaret McNiff Trophy with wins in all 4 of their Varsity 4 races. Good luck, ladies. Finally, our football team will square off this Saturday night in Philly for a Big 5 Classic against Penn at 7 p.m. While we beat the Quakers last year 22-10, this is not the same team we had a season ago. Moreover, it's been rough sledding so far, as the Wildcats have gone 0-3 in some pretty brutal losses. Good news, though, as Penn is also coming off of a rough experience, a 37-12 whooping from Lafayette. I think this is as good a time as any for these guys to get out of their rut and take it to the Quakers. Throw in a couple passes to Dorian Wells, give Austin Medley some more chances to do his thing, and let the defense set the tone. I feel like anything is possible. I'll take the Wildcats in a nail-biter, 13-10. Well, that's going to do it for this weekend on Wildcat Watch Live. For Bryn, Anthony, and Brendan, I'm Mimo Cricchio. Thank you so much for watching this week. We hope to see you next week, and
Stay Wildcats.